All right, this is going to be naming 3D figures practice. So this will be some practice problems. Some of these get a little tricky, so this is good practice. Name each 3D figure. Name a figure by its base and its shape, either pyramid or prism, just as a little review. A pyramid has a pointy top. Prism has the same top and bottom. Some figures will be folded and some unfolded, and that's called a net. All right, so what's the name of this figure? Base, then pyramid or prism. So this is a rectangular base, right? And it's a prism because the top and the bottom are the same. So that's how you know it's a prism. All right, so it's called a rectangular prism. Could you call it a rectangle prism? Maybe, possibly. People know what you're talking about, but the correct name is rectangular prism. All right, name this figure. So you have to kind of figure out what this is. Now, this one I think could be kind of one of two things. It looks to me like a rectangle. Could you argue it's a square? Possibly. I've got square pyramid here. It's technically a square from where I got it from, but if my students gave me rectangular pyramid, I would accept that too. But it's definitely a pyramid because of the top here, just like the Egyptian pyramids. So I would accept rectangular pyramid on this. All right. The base, and imagine this piece folding up that way, this piece folding this way, this piece folding this way, this piece folding this way, and it's going to look like a crab cage or pyramids in Egypt. And so it's a square pyramid. Could you say rectangular pyramid? You could maybe argue that because we don't know that these sides are equal, but they appear to be. So I think a better name here is square pyramid. All right. Name this figure. This is clearly not a square. It doesn't look like a square. It definitely looks more like a rectangle. So we're going to call this a rectangular pyramid because of the tip. The base is a triangle and it's a pyramid because of the tip up there. So we call it a triangular pyramid. All right, this is a little tricky because you have to kind of imagine folding. So I want you to imagine this. Imagine this being folded this way, this being folded this way, this being folded this way, this being folded this way. And if you can imagine that, it's going to look like a prism, a prism that you have in elementary school that you kind of shine a light through and you see a rainbow color. And so this is actually a triangular prism because the bases are triangles and they fold up to make a prism. I think this is very tough for students because you might say it's a square prism or a square pyramid, but when you fold it, it just doesn't fold that way. It's a triangular prism. This is a tough one kind of, but if you can imagine this being folded this way, this kind of being folded this way, each one of those being folded towards that thing here. And it turns out that's the base. So that's going to be a square pyramid. So this is going to be the base. And it's going to look, let me show you what this is going to look like. It's going to look like a square pyramid. It's going to look like that. If you can imagine that. It's just kind of made a little bit differently, but this is a square pyramid. All right, this one is kind of like that past square pyramid, but it looks like a rectangle here. And so you would fold this up, fold this up, fold this up, fold this up, and it's going to be a rectangular pyramid. Could you say square pyramid? I don't think so. I think it appears to be more rectangular. All right, this one. So this one's kind of easy to imagine, a little bit easier than the rest. Just imagine each of the sides. Can you think of a figure that has 6 sides, basically? And it turns out it's a square prism or cube. Most people would call this a cube, but it is actually a square prism. What figure is this? So think Kleenex box. That's going to be the best way to do it. And so it's a rectangular prism. So think of a Kleenex box being folded in together. You would have this side folded, this side folded, this side folded up, this side folded up, and this side kind of over the top. So this is a rectangular prism. All right, this is a square here. We know it's for surely a square because it says that each side is 4. And so it's a square pyramid. And there's some examples of it. All right, this one, a little tricky, but imagine this being folded this way, this is folded this way, this is folded this way, this is folded this way. So take a guess at what you think that is. Actually, it turns out to be a triangular prism. Because if you fold it, it's going to look like one of those little prisms that you shine a light through and see a rainbow. So the bases are the triangles here, and you fold it up, and you might say it's a pyramid because of that edge that's going to form when this is folded. It's going to be an edge here, but a pyramid, it has a pointy top, not an edge. The edge doesn't matter. So it's called a triangular prism, and that's what it looks like. So you could maybe think of a tent, be a good way to think of it. And that is it.